The standard mounting heights for light switches are determined by accessibility guidelines, primarily the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, and the International Building Code, or IBC. These codes specify a range to accommodate individuals with disabilities. For light switches, the minimum mounting height is 48 inches, or 1219 millimeters, measured from the floor to the center of the bottom of the switch plate. The maximum mounting height for light switches is 60 inches, or 1524 millimeters, measured from the floor to the center of the top of the switch plate. These measurements ensure that individuals using wheelchairs or those with limited reach can operate the switches. When installing exit signs, strobes, and horn strobe devices, there are specific height requirements as well, primarily for visibility and audibility in emergency situations. For exit signs, the top of the sign should be mounted at a maximum of 80 inches, or 2032 millimeters, from the floor. Additionally, the minimum lettering height for exit signs is 6 inches, or 152 millimeters, to ensure readability. Strobes have a mounting height range. The minimum height for strobes is 80 inches, or 2032 millimeters, from the floor, and the maximum height is 96 inches, or 2438 millimeters, from the floor. This range ensures that the visual alert is effective for a wide range of individuals. Horn strobe devices, which provide both audible and visual alerts, also have a specified mounting height range. The minimum mounting height for horn strobe devices is 80 inches, or 2032 millimeters, from the floor, and the maximum height is 96 inches, or 2438 millimeters, from the floor. These heights are consistent with strobe mounting heights to maintain uniformity and effectiveness in emergency signaling. It is important to note that while the ADA and IBC provide these standards, local codes may vary. It is always recommended to check with the local building department for specific requirements in the area. Local jurisdictions may have additional regulations or modifications to these standards based on specific local needs or conditions. Checking with the local building department ensures compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Deviation from these standards can result in non-compliance with building codes and potential safety hazards. Proper installation at the correct height ensures accessibility and visibility for all occupants. Understanding and adhering to these mounting height standards is crucial for ensuring safety and accessibility in buildings. This includes considering the needs of individuals with disabilities and ensuring that emergency devices are readily visible and audible to all occupants. Firstly, accurate measurements are critical for ensuring compliance with the specified height ranges. Use a measuring tape or laser level to accurately determine the mounting height from the finished floor. Secondly, secure mounting is essential for all devices, particularly exit signs, strobes, and horn strobe devices. Ensure that the mounting hardware is appropriate for the wall material and that the devices are firmly attached to prevent them from falling. Thirdly, consider the placement of devices in relation to other building features, such as doors, corridors, and obstructions. Ensure that devices are not obstructed and are easily visible from all relevant vantage points. Fourthly, coordinate with other trades such as electricians and fire alarm technicians to ensure that all devices are properly wired and connected to the building's electrical and fire alarm systems. Fifthly, document all installations, including measurements and device specifications for future reference and inspection purposes. This documentation can be helpful for verifying compliance with building codes and for maintenance purposes. Sixthly, provide training to building occupants and staff on the location and operation of exit signs, strobes, and horn strobe devices. This training can help ensure that occupants are aware of the devices and know how to respond in emergency situations. Seventhly, conduct regular inspections and maintenance of all devices to ensure that they are functioning properly. This includes checking batteries, testing audible and visual signals, and replacing any damaged or malfunctioning components. Eighthly, stay informed about changes to building codes and regulations. Building codes are periodically updated, and it is important to stay informed about any changes that may affect the installation or maintenance of these devices. Ninthly, consult with qualified professionals such as architects, engineers, and code consultants to ensure that all installations are compliant with applicable codes and regulations. These professionals can provide guidance on specific requirements and best practices. 10thly, prioritize safety in all installations. Ensure that all devices are installed in a manner that minimizes the risk of injury or damage to property. This includes using appropriate safety equipment and following all applicable safety procedures. By following these steps, one can ensure that the installation of light switches, exit signs, strobes, and horn strobe devices is compliant with building codes and regulations, and that the devices are effective in providing safety and accessibility for all building occupants. The importance of adhering to accessibility standards cannot be overstated. These standards are designed to ensure that buildings are usable by everyone, regardless of their physical abilities. By following the ADA and IBC guidelines, buildings can be made more inclusive and accessible to people with disabilities. This not only benefits individuals with disabilities, but also enhances the overall usability and safety of buildings for all occupants. Furthermore, compliance with these standards can help to avoid legal issues and ensure that buildings meet all applicable regulations. In addition to the specific mounting height requirements, there are other considerations that should be taken into account when installing these devices. Firstly, the location of light switches should be convenient and accessible. Switches should be placed in locations where they are easily reached and operated by all occupants. Secondly, exit signs should be clearly visible and easily readable from all relevant vantage points. The signs should be illuminated and should contrast with the background to ensure visibility in all lighting conditions. Thirdly, strobes and horn strobe devices should be placed in locations where they are most effective in alerting occupants to emergencies. This may include placing devices in hallways, common areas, and other locations where people are likely to be present. Fourthly, the selection of devices should be appropriate for the specific application. There are different types of light switches, exit signs, strobes, and horn strobe devices available, and it is important to choose the devices that are best suited for the needs of the building and its occupants. Fifthly, the installation of devices should be performed by qualified professionals. Electrical work and fire alarm system installation should be performed by licensed electricians and fire alarm technicians to ensure that the work is done safely and correctly. Sixthly, regular maintenance and testing of devices are essential to ensure that they are functioning properly. Light switches should be checked regularly to ensure that they are working smoothly. Exit signs, strobes, and horn strobe devices should be tested periodically to ensure that they are providing the intended alerts. Seventhly, documentation of all installations and maintenance activities is important for future reference. This documentation can be helpful for troubleshooting problems, verifying compliance with regulations, and planning for future upgrades or repairs. Eighthly, training of building occupants and staff on the use of devices can help to ensure that they are used effectively in emergency situations. Occupants should be trained on how to operate light switches, how to recognize exit signs, and how to respond to strobe and horn strobe alerts. Ninthly, ongoing monitoring of building codes and regulations is necessary to ensure that the building remains in compliance. Building codes are subject to change, and it is important to stay informed about any updates that may affect the installation or maintenance of these devices. Tenthly, collaboration with building owners, managers, and occupants is important to ensure that the devices are meeting their needs and that they are satisfied with the installation and maintenance activities. This collaboration can help to identify any problems or concerns and to develop solutions that are acceptable to all parties. By considering these factors, one can ensure that the installation and maintenance of light switches, exit signs, strobes, and horn strobe devices are performed in a manner that promotes safety, accessibility, and compliance with building codes and regulations. In addition to the technical aspects of installation and maintenance, there are also some practical considerations that should be taken into account. Firstly, the aesthetic appearance of devices should be considered. Light switches, exit signs, strobes, and horn strobe devices should be selected and installed in a manner that complements the overall design of the building. Secondly, the durability of devices should be considered. Devices should be selected that are durable and able to withstand the wear and tear of daily use. Thirdly, the cost of devices should be considered. There are a wide range of devices available at different price points, and it is important to choose devices that are affordable and provide good value for the money. Fourthly, the availability of replacement parts should be considered. It is important to choose devices that are readily available so that replacement parts can be obtained quickly and easily if needed. Fifthly, the warranty of devices should be considered. A good warranty can provide peace of mind and protection against defects or malfunctions. Sixthly, the ease of installation should be considered. Devices that are easy to install can save time and money. Seventhly, the ease of maintenance should be considered. Devices that are easy to maintain can reduce the cost of ownership over the long term. Eighthly, the energy efficiency of devices should be considered. Energy-efficient devices can save money on utility bills and reduce the environmental impact of the building. Ninthly, the compatibility of devices with other building systems should be considered. Devices should be compatible with the building's electrical system, fire alarm system, and other systems. Tenthly, the level of support provided by the manufacturer should be considered. A manufacturer that provides good support can be a valuable resource for troubleshooting problems and obtaining technical assistance. By considering these practical factors, one can ensure that the selection and installation of light switches, exit signs, strobes, and horn strobe devices are aligned with the overall goals and objectives of the building owner and manager. Finally, it is important to emphasize the importance of ongoing education and training in the area of building codes and regulations. Building codes are constantly evolving, and it is essential to stay informed about the latest changes and updates. This can be achieved by attending industry conferences, reading trade publications, and participating in online forums and discussion groups. In addition, it is important to seek out opportunities for continuing education and professional development. This can help to enhance one's knowledge and skills and to stay abreast of the latest trends and best practices in the field. By investing in ongoing education and training, one can ensure that they are well equipped to meet the challenges of the building industry and to provide safe, accessible, and compliant buildings for all occupants. The mounting heights are critical for several reasons. Firstly, accessibility. The Americans with Disabilities Act sets standards to ensure that individuals with disabilities can access and use various features within a building. Mounting light switches and other devices at appropriate heights ensures that people using wheelchairs or those with limited reach can easily operate them. Secondly, safety. Proper mounting heights for exit signs, strobes, and horn strobes are essential for ensuring that these devices are visible and audible during emergencies. This helps building occupants quickly identify exits and respond to alarms. Thirdly, compliance. Adhering to the International Building Code and local building codes is mandatory. Failure to comply can result in fines, legal issues, and the need for costly rework. Fourthly, usability. Even for individuals without disabilities, standardized mounting heights create a consistent and predictable environment. This makes it easier for everyone to find and use switches and emergency devices. Fifthly, liability. Building owners and managers have a responsibility to ensure the safety and accessibility of their properties. Proper installation of these devices can help reduce the risk of accidents and injuries, thereby minimizing potential liability. When installing light switches, several factors should be considered. Firstly, the type of switch. Different types of switches, such as toggle switches, rocker switches, and dimmer switches, may have different installation requirements. Secondly, the location of the switch. Switches should be placed in convenient and accessible locations, typically near doorways or entrances to rooms. Thirdly, the wiring of the switch. Electrical wiring must be done safely and correctly to prevent electrical hazards. Fourthly, the mounting of the switch. Switches should be securely mounted to the wall to prevent them from becoming loose or damaged. Fifthly, the labeling of the switch. Switches should be labeled to indicate their function, such as lights, fan, or disposal. When installing exit signs, several factors should be considered. Firstly, the visibility of the sign. Exit signs should be clearly visible from all directions, even in low light conditions. Secondly, the illumination of the sign. Exit signs must be illuminated to ensure that they are visible during power outages. Thirdly, the mounting of the sign. Exit signs should be securely mounted to the wall or ceiling to prevent them from falling. Fourthly, the placement of the sign. Exit signs should be placed above or adjacent to doors leading to exits. Fifthly, the compliance with codes. Exit signs must comply with all applicable building codes and regulations. When installing strobes and horn strobe devices, several factors should be considered. Firstly, the audibility of the horn. The horn must be loud enough to be heard throughout the building, even in noisy environment. Secondly, the visibility of the strobe. The strobe must be bright enough to be seen by individuals with visual impairments. Thirdly, the synchronization of the devices. Strobes and horns should be synchronized to provide a coordinated alert signal. Fourthly, the placement of the devices. Strobes and horns should be placed in locations where they are most effective in alerting occupants to emergencies. Fifthly, the compliance with codes. Strobes and horn strobe devices must comply with all applicable building codes and regulations. In summary, understanding and adhering to the mounting height standards for light switches, exit signs, strobes, and horn strobe devices is crucial for ensuring safety, accessibility, and compliance with building codes. By following the guidelines provided by the ADA, IBC, and local building departments, building owners and managers can create a safe and accessible environment for all occupants. The correct installation of these devices is not merely a matter of compliance, it is a fundamental aspect of responsible building management.